Venku is the #1 platform to book hunting trips online. Search and compare over 3,000 guided and self-guided hunts available across the United States. From pristine ranches out west for elk to fast-paced Texas hog hunts and swampy Louisiana gator camp, you can book it online at venku.com. If you're an outfitter who spends all your time in the field, Venku takes the headache out of keeping up with the business side of your operation. Venku handles payment processing, waivers, bookings, and simplifies communication with clients. Get started for free at venku.com. You are listening to Off the X Podcast with your hosts, Forrest Carvajal, Tyler Wells, Barrett Moon, and Matt Covington. Brought to you by Venku, Adventure Awaits. Pattern Pros, where simplicity meets results. Hunt Proof, the premier waterfowl mobile app. Migra, custom waterfowl ammunition. Rixie Outdoors. Wellens Land, Arkansas's leading real estate and development group. And Pond Creek Duck Calls. Call with confidence.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the X Podcast. I'm Forrest Carvajal, here with my best good friends, Matt Covington. How are you?
Man, I'm conflicted. I don't know if I'm happy, if I'm sad. It's the day after duck season.
It is. We were literally recording. I voice cracked that time. I don't know if you're supposed to take a shot.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know either. I'm in a weird place, but
I know I'm tired. Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Barrett Moon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
He's doing well. Oh, yeah. Awesome. And Mr. Tyler Wells, how are you? You have a heat pack on your lower back over there.
I do. I've been nursing a sore back. But,
you just had a birthday. Now you're nursing your back, and
yeah, 39. I guess ain't no joke.
Good Lord. Okay, it is. Matt, you already said it. It is the end of duck season. We're celebrating with drinks. Matt is not. He's celebrating with water. So we have bourbon review, which we have not done in a long time. This episode might go 2 episodes. So we actually have 2 bourbons, one for now, one for mid-episode. But we only have 1 duck call for a call review. I don't know if it'll be on first episode or second episode. We'll figure that out as it goes. But let's jump into the bourbon review since we have not done one in a while. Barrett, what you got?
Oh, I mean, we got this from Kyle
Uselton. I always forget how to say it.
It's a Old Pepper Distillery bourbon bottle, straight Kentucky bourbon bottled in bond. It's got a great taste to it. I can't really nail what the taste is though. I've been sipping on it for a minute and still can't figure it out. So I'll let you guys give it a go.
I mean, it smells like it's a mixture of like some vanilla, some kind of citrus, maybe lemon. Forrest said it smells like lemon. He said it's gonna taste what, citrusy.
When I smelled it, my first thought was like, okay, it's gonna have citrus to it. When I smelled it,
yeah, I thought it would, and then I took a drink of it, and I was like, I can't taste any citrus in it.
I don't get a lot of in it or citrus at all, honestly. No. And I mean, my taster is not as good as y'all's. But what my favorite thing about it is, I don't know if it's old pepper and it has it in my head that there's supposed to be pepper to it, but the spice and the heat at the end, I normally don't like that. Like, it's something I kind of deal with bourbon and whiskey, but this one, like, it's pleasant. Like, it's not too much, but it's enough to be like, okay, that's tolerable. I kind of like that. So that's honestly my favorite part about it, is that it has spice to it that I can tolerate. Yeah,
and we're having it on the rocks. So, I mean, that's going to dull it down a little. I'm sure straight, it would probably have a little bit more pepper on the end of it. But, tasting it, I mean, you do get a little bit of citrus, but you get more vanilla and, like, berries, and then it almost goes some kind of chocolate or something, like, really.
I might can see the chocolate.
Like deep and rich at the back of your tongue.
Yes.
Toward the end of it, and it finishes really, really good, too. I mean, it leaves kind of a little bit of oak taste at the end of it, and then you're back to those berries and stuff kind of toward the end.
That was a good description.
Thanks.
That was a good description. I mean,
I really thought that one out.
I feel like I just took a drink of it and I didn't. I'm drinking water.
I can't relate it to ghosts because I haven't had many ghosts.
Yeah, how does it relate to a grape ghost? What's on the back end of that? Happiness.
Happiness.
Joy.
I can smell a grape ghost, and I'm like, oh.
I feel like I'm probably going to be a little bit calmer after this than the ghost, maybe. I don't know about Matt with his addiction over there to the caffeine.
It's not an addiction.
It's the first thing. He's in denial.
What about you, Barrett? Where you sit with this?
I can't put my tongue on it exactly to figure out what it is. Honestly, it's got kind of a smooth cigar taste to it, and so like I can't give you exact taste that I'm getting, but like I'm not getting a lot of spice. I'm not getting a lot of it's got a smooth finish, and it kind of, that last little bite reminds me of a cigar, like a last kind of a drag on a cigar.
I can really kind of see the wheels turning over there. It's like there's something there.
It's an interesting taste. It's not a taste that I've had recently or before. So
that's saying, I mean, not calling you an alcoholic. I'm just saying that's saying a lot because we're
canceling bourbon reviews. So immediately,
we have tasted a lot of bourbons, and Barrett's like, I can't place this one. It's not like any of the others that we've had. Sorry, that sounded bad. And Barrett's walking out of the room.
Welcome back.
With the bottle. He took the bottle.
Yeah. This is why he never shows up. Okay, I see.
So let me Google it real quick. I'll Google a review.
Okay, well while you're Googling it, let's do a score. I'm gonna go 8. Like I like this one a lot. What do you got?
No, I'm right there with you. It's solid 8. Yeah.
Kyle, this is the second one he has donated to the cause.
Kyle's been good to us.
The last one was Wilderness Trail, and it was really good too. And I had never, I don't know if I'm just ignorant, but I'd never heard of it. I never really heard of this one. So,
well, there's just so many out there that, you know, you're like, what do I spend my money on? And when somebody gifts you one, it's like, it must be good.
Don't spend it on Giant.
Yes.
I'm still thankful I was sick that night.
That is the one that we have reviewed that all of us were like, oh my gosh.
I think Tyler kept the bottle just for
that's Willet.
No, that's Willet. Y'all kept the bottle and threw it at a road sign, I'm pretty sure. Used it to take rust off the car bumper.
If there's a Willet pot still, is that what it's called? Pot still and a Giant next to each other, the bottles look exactly the same.
Be careful.
Do not mix those up. One is good, one is not so good.
All right, so let me read you real quick what it says it is. Let's see, on the nose it says you should get like a little bit of corn, vanilla, blackberries, citrus, honey, baking spices, and oak. You need that?
I mean, I can get some of the baking spices. Okay. Maybe that's what I was kind of.
Yeah.
I was wondering if when he read it off, if you were going to catch the thing that you were missing over there.
I couldn't. You know how a lot of times, like for instance, if you go double oak, the Woodford Reserve, like that one's heavy oak.
Yeah.
So it's like this one, I didn't get a whole lot of oak. I now that I think about like the baking spices, you kind of taste in there, but. I mean, it's phenomenal. I really like it.
Okay, and then the taste of it, again with the corn, vanilla, blackberries, a little citrus, cinnamon, nutmeg, oak, tasted kind of like dry cranberries or caramel.
See, I didn't
really get caramel.
I got more of like just a lot like toffee at the end of it. Maybe that chocolate toffee. Yeah, you don't know what toffee is.
It tasted like tobacco to me.
Yeah, kind well, I mean, a lot of like pop tobacco and stuff like that will have a toffee smell to it.
Okay.
So, and then finish on it, oak, salted caramel, dried cranberries, you know, and just that little bit of spice. And they're even adding in like some pecan and burnt peanuts.
Burnt peanuts. Huh.
I'm not that into it. So,
burnt peanuts. Okay.
I mean, the flavor profile that he just read off sounds incredible. So
yeah, well, it was
tastes
good.
Really good. Yeah,
big thanks to Kyle.
Thank you very much.
I would recommend that one if somebody asks like something new to try.
Yeah,
go try that.
Old Pepper Distillery.
All right.
On to the next.
Duck season is over, as Matt said. Jiminy crickets at Christmas time. Not yet.
Oh,
I'll be incoherent.
As we said, Barrett's had a lot.
Okay, I'll forget y'all. What you just said.
Yes.
You're trying to figure out the words for how you feel about duck season being over.
Yes.
I kind of woke up the same way this morning. Like normally I wake up depressed or pissed off that duck season's over. This morning, I'm not going to lie, I kind of woke up like at peace. about duck season. I'm sad, don't get me wrong, that it's over, but I can't lie. This was one of my favorite seasons in like the last 5 or 6 years.
Bittersweet is a cliche that gets thrown around a lot, but that's like a real feeling to me right now. Like I'm sad, but I enjoyed what happened this season. I'm a little bit happy to get back into a routine every day.
We had a pretty good routine. Get up, go hunt.
I was about to say, what routine? All you did every day was go duck hunting.
A home routine, I guess. But give me a couple days and I'm just going to be sad, I'm sure. Just sad.
Snow goose season's fired up, so I mean, we can still go shoot some snows.
It doesn't trip my trigger.
You ever done it?
No.
It might.
Maybe.
Might be a ton of retrieves for the dogs. So.
That's true, but I'm also like, I mean, they're kind of like, remind me of a speckle belly, and speckle bellies, I'm just kind of, y'all have as many as you want. So that's just me. It's just me. How are y'all feeling about it? How are you feeling about it over there, Barry?
Hey, it was I'm not gonna say it was a good season. It was a good season.
Well, it was a very different season for you.
A very different season
because this was your first season to primarily guide.
Oh, that's all I did.
Right.
So, I mean, and it wasn't that much. I mean, it was 12 total guided hunts that I did. So with 60, I averaged 5.5 birds a hunt.
That's pretty solid.
So
that's pretty solid. I'm not going to
68 total.
Do you have it on your Hunt Proof app, or you just remember the number?
I've got it because we have to keep a log of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had 68 birds. That's
68 total birds. Yeah.
Geese and ducks. Do you have the number off the top of your head? What was ducks? And what
No,
was
I
geese?
don't. Just 68 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean, 5 birds a hunt. That's pretty solid. I'd be
Well, I
happy
mean, a
with
couple
that.
of those hunts were zeros, and then
them zeros hurt.
Yeah, and then a couple
Zeros
of them
hurt.
were bigger numbers.
Did
so.
did everybody here have at least 1 0?
Yeah.
I had 3 of them.
I had 4 or 5.
I had 2.
You had 2. So I had the most. I suck.
I had 3, and they hurt. They made me mad.
Did they?
Like, yeah.
Why did they make you mad?
Because I'm like, I should be able to kill a duck pretty much. At least one duck every day. One of those zeros, I passed a duck that I should have shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
So
Well, see, hunts like that, if you zero, it's not like you sucked. You passed on a bird. You just made a wrong choice. You didn't.
I did
you
make a
didn't,
really wrong
You didn't
choice.
just suck. You just made a wrong choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But 2 of them, we didn't have a bird look at us. Like it made me feel like I don't have a clue what I'm doing out here. Like I'm just spinning my wheels, and it made me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look, but it was more than a few.
I know that skunks really do hurt your feelings a little bit too, right?
They didn't hurt as bad this year.
Why is that?
I was better.
Why is that? Like, do you have a reason?
Just I went into the season with the goal of enjoying the whole process more than the number, and there were a couple hunts that I didn't kill anything that I was happy going home.
That's awesome.
It was.
That's called maturity.
I'm growing up, Forrest.
You're growing up.
I'm growing up.
You hunted with the 39-year-old all season, so that's what it was.
Yeah, just the last
Not
couple
all
weeks.
season.
Does your back hurt?
No, my back's still good.
Oh Lord. Okay, so let's start from. We're going to go in reverse. We're going to go from the last hunt and move back through season. Okay, because I put it out there like nobody talk because we were all hunting Friday, which was the last day of season. Nobody talk about your hunts until the podcast. So I want to know everybody's hunts from the last day of season. Whoever wants to go first.
Well, I didn't know when you said don't talk like you weren't going to respond that you were alive to a text message.
No, hey, well, let me respond to that right now. I may or may not have had service because I may or may not have been in the woods all day yesterday.
I started to text Leah and be like, have you heard from Forrest today? But I didn't want to panic her.
She might have been out there too.
Well, do you want to lead?
Nope.
Barrett, do you want to lead?
I mean, I'll start it
All
off.
right, let's hear it.
So if you go back and listen, the end of last season did not end. Well, I'll say this: it ended in spectacular fashion, but it was not the fashion that I wanted it to end.
I highly recommend to go back and listen to
So-
that episode because it was
Yes.
so good.
So after Tyler texted about it the other day, I was like, I'm gonna go back and listen to it now, just to freshen my emotions before I get to this one. But
Heard his pocketbook still.
yeah. But it did not end that way this year.
Hey, yeah.
The guys that I did not get to guide last season, because I had no truck and no side-by-side to do that with, they came back and hunted with me this season. And so, which was really cool for them to be like, hey, you know, we understand it went sideways on you, so we're going to come back and do it again. And awesome. Didn't break anything, which is awesome. We went out Friday. We started out at a farm, and I mean, I had high hopes. It rained all day Thursday. I mean, it was pouring down rain all Thursday night, and then it kind of broke up there early Friday morning, and we got out there, and I was really like, oh, man, this farm hadn't been hunted in a week and a half. They picked up all the decoys. Like, we've got a chance. We've got a good chance here. And then the fog set in, and I was like, great. So it was tough sledding because, I mean, it's late season. Those birds aren't making a sound up there. I mean, they're flying around, and you'll hear the pintails just because they're as thick as flies up there right now. But for the most part, like your mallards, all your other birds, they're just silent. They're not making any sound. Well, I got close. I pulled a speck out of the fog, and he hovered right above the pit, and I didn't call the shot. And I was ticked because that was my fault. But so we sat there, fog never lifted. It broke, sunshine broke through, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And all of a sudden it was like a light switch, and birds they were everywhere. We got a few to work. We missed some shots on some teal, which they was good. They were close, but they're fast.
It happens.
So, yeah. So they were good sports about it. Fog set back in. So birds shut off again, and it was like, this is rough. And then we took a lunch break and went and got lunch, and then we came back because that afternoon the sun finally came out, and I was like, okay, sun's out. We've got to.
Was the wind blowing up there?
Wind blew for a while, and then it died around lunchtime, and then it kind of stayed down till about 3:30. And then out of nowhere, I looked at my weather app and everything. I was like, it's like 7% chance of rain. So left my rain jacket, left everything in the truck. And we got back out there that afternoon, 3:45, 4 o'clock. I'm not kidding you. Biggest thunderstorm I've ever seen. rolled in behind
that
50
sucks.
mile an hour winds.
Oh,
Hail.
my gosh.
I was wearing a long sleeve shirt like this in my waders and just some pants underneath, sopping wet. Freezing cold, winds blowing. I'm getting hailed on. There's two birds that work in, and they're stuck in the wind. And I mean, they're like 20 yards out.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, shoot them. Dude, the wind was blowing so hard you couldn't hit them.
Couldn't hit them.
Yeah, the birds
I had to lead them.
They're stuck in the wind like this, and you can't kill them.
They're sitting there floating. Don't move. Just stay here.
And that's exactly right. We ended up killing two birds. We stayed out there till the end of shooting light and stayed through a hailstorm. And those guys, I mean, I kept looking at them, waiting for them to be like, okay, we're done. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get the side by side. And they were like, we're staying. So we stayed out there till end of shooting light, and I got home about 9 o'clock last night.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm sorry, dude.
No, it was good. I didn't break anything. Everything came out fine. They killed a couple birds. Ended up killing a greenhead, and I guess it was two mallards. It was two mallards that we killed, and one was a hen, but I mean that's not. I didn't kill it, so
you didn't collect the dollar from them.
My dollar. Yeah.
Well, if anybody listening to the podcast doesn't know, where are you guiding in case you go back again next year?
I've been up with DLW Dustin Wilbanks up in Northeast Arkansas. He's based out of Walnut Ridge, so.
Well, that is a drive for you up there.
If you want to hunt with Barrett, there you go.
I drive up there and I stay all weekend, and then I come back. So it's been cool.
Golly.
It's been cool. Work all week and then go up and then guide for 2-3 days and then come back.
What have you learned about hunting ducks in a field? Because I imagine that's mostly what you're doing is hunting in a field.
It's all field. I've learned, I've learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
If you don't play the wind up there, you're screwed.
Yeah.
That's a massive one. The wind is all that matters up there. I've come to the point where I throw everything at them at the beginning, and I take away as the day goes.
So you start out aggressive.
I start out aggressive and then pull back as the day goes.
I just got a text that I have a water leak at my house, so I'm going to step outside for a second.
Go on, dude. You're good.
Oh, boy.
So, like you said, you start out aggressive and then you kind of pull back.
Yeah.
Right? And you mentioned the wind, too. So have you noticed are there fields that maybe it sets up for a north and south wind, but the ducks only like it on a south wind versus a north wind.
It's hard up there. I mean, you'll have ducks coming from everywhere. So it's really, I mean, my what I've seen and what I've figured out is, but you play the wind the best you can. I mean, I can't pick where the pit is or where the blind is or whatever. So play the wind the best you can and then move your decoys accordingly.
Yeah.
Just so create your block. Like if you've got, east to west wind and I mean, you're going to create your block on the west side, put everything down on that west side, float them across the front of the pit and then get yourself the best shot.
Yeah.
So
you mainly want a crossing wind for what y'all are doing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes now don't get me wrong. I love if I've got a wind coming from my back. I enjoy it because it puts them right in your
Right in
face,
your lap.
and you can shoot when they hit those brakes and they climb. You can shoot them as they're climbing. So, it's been a learning curve for sure. I mean, I had to learn hard and fast on a spec call. What
spec call you blowing? Still that?
No, I've got traded the barbelly for a DBG spec call out of Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, and it sounds a lot like yours, and so it's not as high pitched as that other one.
Yeah,
was.
yours was a half inch.
A half inch,
right?
and this is a 5/8.
Okay.
Yeah. So and it's getting better. It's still kind of, I want it to be a little bit more raspy, but I mean she's starting to break in pretty well.
Nice.
Six, I probably got to wear those guts in on those.
I was able to kill some specs with it this year, so
Awesome.
I felt it definitely gave me some confidence. Like, okay, you're getting better.
I believe you're the only person. Well, no, Matt killed specs. I was about to say, I think you're the only person at the table that's killed specs, but because I didn't kill a speckabilly this year. I didn't even try to chase a speckabilly.
It's the only bird. It was one of the only birds I killed this year.
That's true. You only shot like twice, right?
I shot twice.
What'd you kill?
Pintail and a specklebelly. The pintail, I had some boys in from Louisiana, and they looked down at me and they said, "Look, we just want to see birds fall."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's all you gotta say." And we,
Roger that.
yeah, we were in the pit, and I had a spread on one side and a spread on the other, and I had birds working this backside, and I was watching them. I said, "I better turn around and check that spread out front just in case they're all looking behind." So I kind of no, and I turned around looking at pintail's backpedaling. And I just swung over and I said, "Hey, you're mine.
Boom.
You're going home with me."
I like it.
How did Huck do this year?
Incredible. Huck had a 800-yard retrieve that was absolutely insane.
What was it on?
It was a hen mallard, and I don't know how he found it.
Wow.
He actually had to use his nose, which that dog doesn't like to use his nose because he grew up in training, and so he wants to be
Handled.
pushed and handled.
Yeah.
No, he used his nose and found her.
Wow. That's cool.
It was that was, I guess, 2 weekends ago, I think, or a weekend ago. I can't remember. Anyways, they shot a hen mallard, and she sailed hard. And I kept watching him, and he, sure enough, watched her the whole way. And I had to push him back one time. So he got out there probably 150 yards and turned around and just stopped and looked at me because he was like, "Hey, just tell me where." And so I pushed him back, and he went. And I sat there and watched. And
Dude,
10 minutes later, he came back with her.
That is nuts.
So
I mean,
I was really happy.
That's one of those moments that you're like, man, I love this dog so much. Because can you imagine if you'd have had to go out there and get it yourself?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like, she got away. She's
well, and she got into some stubble. I mean, you could see like she was swimming. I was like, he's never gonna find her. But sure enough, came back with her.
Way to go, Huck.
Yeah,
He definitely wins the award for the longest retrieve this year.
I don't know how to clean up some of his initial whining at the first of the morning, but that was the only thing that I really hated about it. Is like the first hour he just whimpers because he's jacked. He's so jacked that he just can't stand it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to clean that up, but honestly, if you shoot a bird, he finally calms down.
Just gotta get that fix.
Gotta get that hit.
I noticed that it's worse if there's another dog there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
he got anxiety.
You all good?
Nothing I can do about it now, so let's finish.
What is it?
Water leak in my house. Floors are wet underneath, and
Oh no!
Where at?
Guest bathroom.
I mean, you got the home inspector right here.
He's on it.
Yeah,
Chase is on the case.
Well, while Chase is doing his job over there, who wants to go next, Matt or
Do you want to lead?
We were together. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we hunted
razzled,
pretty much.
So let me get back in it.
We hunted most of the season together.
He hunted 12 days. How many days did you hunt?
I hunted 23 days total.
23.
So, and that's 3 days in Texas, and then the rest of
20 in Arkansas.
20 in Arkansas.
All right.
So hunted 23 days here, or 23 days total. Shot decent cranes and geese out there. I didn't kill a goose in Arkansas this year. I didn't even go spec hunting.
No geese.
Which I intended to go a few times because I was really curious of like, well, what will Ruby do on something like that versus timber, because that's the only place that we've hunted.
Yeah.
So we'll start back at the last day, and then we can kind of work back forward. So we finished out the season. We got a call from Mr. Jimmy down at Mallard Oaks, and he said, "Hey," how many shells you got left? I said, "I got plenty of shells."
That's a great sign.
Yeah, because he told me the day before, he's like, "I'm 50-50 on coming." Like, I don't know. And then he texts me and he's like, "Hey," he's like, they got them pretty good. Like, what y'all's playing? I was like, well, I mean, me and Matt are looking for a place to go finish season. You know, we hadn't stayed on birds real consistent as far as real good numbers. So he said, well, y'all come down, come hunt with us. So we got there right at shooting light. We seen a good number of birds right at shooting light, but they wanted to land off of the hole back behind us about 60 yards. There was another hole back there, real small, just to blow down. And that's where they really wanted. But I figured where we were at is kind of trashy.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really look like a duck hole, just looked like a opening in a canopy, but there's a lot of trash on the bottom. So I thought they ought to come get in here pretty decent. But they wanted to land off of us, so we grabbed a bunch of stuff, ran back, got set up in the hole, and we ended up killing. We shot 5 men that day, right? And I mean, it was. There was some of them that we were like, we're going to shoot them. They're not going. Yeah. When they dip, we got to shoot because they're not going to finish. And I mean, I guess I'm to the age to where if they don't put the feet down, I really hate to not shoot them. I'm like, I don't want to pull the trigger.
39, got you. 29, I got them.
He was following them with his gun barrel a few times over top of the trees. So
he's just waiting to say shoot, waiting to say shoot.
Well, he did walk off away from him, start pulling his own hunt there for a little while.
I did.
Come back really? With a few. Yeah,
the ducks were going over there.
Yeah, the ducks. They are. It's the last. The ducks landed off, and I was like, they kept trying to just swing further around the hole and land off of it. So I was like, hey, go walk around and get over on the other side of the hole, so that way when they swing to the hole, like you'll be right in front of them. I look over and he's like out in the woods. I'm like, what is he doing? And then the next group of ducks come through the trees over there right in front of him. He went to work on them. But yeah, we finished out the day there with a 5-man, and it was. I mean, I couldn't think of a better way to finish season. I mean, we sat out there till about 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. I think we left at 10:15.
Yeah, and we could have left probably 30 minutes earlier, 45 minutes earlier, but we were just hopeful, like, let's just work a few more birds in and see what happens, But we got in the hen jar a little bit early on that day. Somebody did.
Do y'all want to say how much y'all got in the hen jar this year?
We can talk about the hen jar.
Yeah.
Matt had to move his 20s out of the way, so if you're looking
like he's got them hiding behind the ones.
So I was good on what I had for the hen jar. I'm like, I have my money. I'm going to bring it. And then yesterday happened. And before I left, I said, babe, I got to go through your purse. I need to look for some more cash.
I need some ones. Yeah.
How many hens, Matt? Do you know?
I put $10 in. I think it was more like 7, but just for all the hens in the past.
That's a tip, extra tip. So, do you know how many days you hunted this year?
Went on 40 hunts.
Gosh.
But I mean, I started in Canada, hunted a couple different states.
Okay. So out of that many hunts and only 7 hens, that's pretty solid. That's not like he's shooting a hen every time he goes out.
No.
How many hens did you have in there?
I'm gonna say I put $3 in today, but I probably owe a few more dollars.
Oh, a few more dollars?
Yeah, because there was a few hunts.
Did you get all the way up to 10?
No, I don't think I hit 10.
That'd have been 50% of your hunts.
A lot of the hunts we were on, I mean, we shot a lot of birds early, and it was was hard to tell them out. Like you'd think, oh, that's, you could hear the drakes coming through the trees, and you're like, all right, trying to match that sound. And then when the volley starts, I mean, it's just like, well, they're all black in the dark, so shoot them. Yeah. But one of the hens that we shot yesterday, I thought whenever I walked up on her, I was like, that's a black duck.
Oh,
she was dark, and I got excited for a minute. I was like, I'll claim that one. I know I didn't shoot it, but I'll claim it. And I did yesterday. I pulled off of several hens. We could have finished up. We could have finished up real early if I'd have been like, all right, yeah, we're just killing them all.
So I've got $2 in the hen jar, and the first hen I shot this year was the first hen that I've shot in 2 years, and she came in early, like you said, by herself and silent, and landed on my end of the blind, and I was like, that's a big duck. They just shot black ducks here earlier this year. Mm-hmm. I'm shooting that duck. So I raise up, I shoot it, and in my head, I'm not thinking hen mallard. In my head, I'm thinking it's either a gadwall or it's a Drake mallard. Owen goes out there and picks it up, brings it back, and I immediately text y'all like, I'm in the hen jar. The second hen that I shot, I got a little too wrapped up in the numbers that Owen had picked up, and she came in, and I was like, that's another retrieve. Bang!
Yeah, so that day, let me see, I killed 2 hens on the day of that. I got wrapped up in it like, I think the season's coming to an end. I've got to get this dog more retrieves.
Yeah.
And like they'd come in, shoot the drake, and the hen be like fixing to leave, and I'm like, no, you ain't leaving. And I'd smoke her, you know. But I will say Ruby made a heck of a retrieve it was a hunt on the 25th is what it was. Me and Matt and his dad hunted together that day. Birds did not fly early. Matt shot a green wing teal and one Drake mallard about, I don't know. He shot the green wing right at first light. Like it was, you could see it sitting on the water, kind of silhouetted. And I told him to keep an eye on it. If we don't have anything working in to shoot it, we'll just leave it and we'll get it after light comes up. So, group's working. There's 2 ducks out front. They're cupped up hard. I look behind. There's like 5 or 6 more, like maybe 2 seconds behind. Those 2 get close. I see Matt swing his gun up, and I'm going behind them. He pulls up, boom, shoots that one. That him starts climbing. I said, no. I smoked her, and she fell into a treetop that had fallen out. We were actually hunting a river, and she'd fallen, and she fell right on the top of it, and took the dog out and sent her on that one. She went and picked the drake up. I grabbed the drake from her and just turned her right around it and let her go back to the stand. Back. She just kept swimming. I kept telling her back. She kept pushing. Finally, she got to that treetop. She got downwind of it. And as soon as she hit downwind, she turned. She's
picked up enough birds.
She's figured out the game now to like, okay. And like if I'm out there with her and I've got my gun and like it's a cripple or something, as soon as I point that gun barrel, she goes to looking out.
Yeah.
So I've done it a few times. Have ducks in one hand, just take that gun barrel and stick out in front of her, and she'll line up down that gun barrel and go on her own now.
How many did she get?
This year she had hunt proof is really coming handy.
I know, you're looking at it over there.
Yeah, she had 16 hunts this year, and she picked up 154 birds.
Ooh, that a girl.
So, and the difference between that first hunt and that last hunt was, like it wasn't you couldn't even say it's the same dog.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially in her first year, and for her to pick up that many in the first year, she's gonna learn a ton.
Yeah, I went from early season running her leashed every hunt.
Yep.
All the way up till the 25th on that hunt. I didn't leash her on that hunt. She would not go off the stand.
She thought she was leashed. I had to go over there and pretend to take the leash off of her to make her go. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because we were out in front of her, so she was right back behind us about 10 feet on a Rixie stand on the edge of the river there, and I'd call her name, and she would just like, she's bouncing. She's like, I'm ready to go. Like, let me loose.
Let me loose.
Matt walk over, and he'd like tap her collar. I mean, like a bullet. She was gone. But I didn't run her. I didn't run her leashed that hunt, and I didn't run her leashed on the last hunt.
Yeah,
and I don't think I ran her leashed any of the rest of the hunts in between there.
Yeah,
in between the 23rd, 25th, all the way to the end of season. And man, she's solid as a rock right now, and I'm looking forward to what next year is going to look like for sure.
While you've got your hunt proof pulled up over there, because I can see it. How many different species did you kill this year?
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different species.
What'd you get?
I got mallards, gadwalls, widgeon, wood duck, and green winged teal.
Very nice.
I was really wanting to add a pintail to that, and we could have added a pintail to it. We could have on a team hunt that day.
Barrett's killed 2 species. He killed a goose and a pintail.
Yeah, personally, I've seen a lot more killed. How
many spoonies you think you guys killed this year in the field?
We didn't kill that many spoonies.
What?
I I had one. I had the biggest ram spoon he killed that I've ever seen.
Really?
That big. I told that guy. I said, "You better mount that. That is the biggest spoonie I've ever seen in my life." And I had a guy kill a pintail that was bigger than any mallard I've ever seen.
Was it late season one?
Yes. When you held him in your hand, that pintail was outside of my hand, probably 2 inches on each side. Fattest thing I've ever seen, and a sprig on it that set off like that. I mean, dwarfed the one I killed. I was like, "This is
Do you know? You haven't talked about the last day of season yet, so I want to hear the perspective from you for your last day. We've heard Tyler's.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Because you did 2 hunts apparently.
I did the hunt with everybody, and then I kind of walked off over to where they were trying to land. Yeah, it was great. Besides starting out, the first 2 that I shot were hens. That's why I had to dig in Ansley's purse before I got over here. But other than that, when I walked off, I shot 2 drakes this time, thankfully.
Attaboy.
And one sailed on me and went into just some really thick stuff. And I walked over there, had Ruby come over there for maybe a minute and a half, and Tyler's like, "We'll come back after the hunt." So they kept hunting. I went back to my spot where I was going. Tyler went back with the group, and I just couldn't stop thinking about that duck. So I went over there, and I'm basically grid searching for this duck like you have a gut shot deer or something you're trying to go find. Walking up and down and up and down and up and down. And I'll just tell the story.
I was wondering if you were going to.
I walked myself into a little bit of a predicament. Had to use the bathroom pretty bad. I walked enough. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm in flooded timber. So I try to find the tallest fallen down tree. I can at least get my waders out of the water. So I stand up on that tree, and as soon as I hit my buckle, there goes that greenhead out from under me. He
said, "Oh poop!"
So I ain't getting this on me.
So I found him. So it was a really good hunt. Great way.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, and then I shot his lips off.
Oh my
He did.
gosh. He should have took the poop.
Smoked him.
So yeah, it was a really fun.
What a
hunt.
story!
Great way to end it.
What a story!
This was probably my best season that I've had, just numbers wise, as much as I've gotten to hunt. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "There's no way," but I'm very blessed to be able to hunt some cool properties, and they usually call the guy with the camera when they have the ducks. It's like if I get a call, there's going to be ducks. So what were you going to say?
I was going to say that's the reverse of what old Bart said when we had him on. He said, being the cook, he's like, people only invite you when they know it's going to be slow enough to eat. So that's funny.
Yeah, I got to hunt a ton and was a part of a lot of ducks and geese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look, I don't know if you've got all of them logged on your hunt proof, but if you add in Canada plus Arkansas, you got to see a bunch of birds get shot.
Yeah, I did.
A bunch of them.
Do you want the number?
Yeah,
I was
want
fixing
the
to say,
number.
do you want to give the number?
I would love to hear the number. And then I'll
40 hunts, 445 ducks, 184 geese.
Golly.
Call the camera guy.
Call the camera guy.
Call the okay.
I mean,
all you kids
obviously.
out there, learn how to use a camera. Because that's how you kill more birds.
It helps.
You watch them.
Yeah, that's how you watch more birds get shot. Is
So, it was a really, really good season for me.
He was also in on 2 of the skunks that I was on. So
Dang. I mean, he was in on one of the skunks. Me, you, and Barrett got skunked when we took the kids. I mean, that wasn't really.
And it goes without saying, Canada helped that number tremendously.
How many ducks did you say you killed?
425?
You killed
445.
You killed 400 in Canada.
Yeah, 400 in Canada. No, but yeah, it was great.
So real quick, so like you said, this year is one of the best years that you've had in a while.
Yeah,
Okay,
by far.
So is that just by numbers, or is that other things too?
Both. I mean, the skunks that we had, I remember just as much as the 9-man that we killed when we were all, the 3 of us were together. Barrett wasn't there. But yeah, it was more than just the ducks.
That's awesome. So, well, Barrett, real quick.
Yep.
How do you rate this duck season, like compared to like your past? You know, you haven't hunted as long as the rest of us have. So, but how does this season sit with you, and how do you rate it?
I don't know if I could give it a rating.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: I grew up a lot this season.
You grew up, okay.
I
You
grew
learned
up a lot this season.
Just got a picture of what's going on at my house. That's fun.
Thank you, Ansley, for being. Well, we better go ahead and thank our wives for
Oh,
that
absolutely.
season. Yeah, because they were troopers this year. So thank you to all of them. But big thanks to Ainsley for letting you stay while she's over there dealing with that and your baby.
Right.
While we do a podcast. Tyler, how do you rate this season?
Oh man, it rates really good. We weren't consistent on staying on good numbers of birds. I think with the river levels, the way they were jumping up and down, then we had that freeze, and then it thawed and got warm. I mean, the last day of season, I was in a long sleeve shirt, and Matt was in a t-shirt,
short sleeve t-shirt.
Barrett had already said he was in a long sleeve t-shirt. I mean, to have that big of a weather shift, I mean, it's just ridiculous there at the end of season. And then they got snow above us and below us right there at the end. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, it's going to push birds back up here to us. And I don't know that it did.
Well, I'm not going to say that it didn't, but I do know that when it gets hot outside, they ain't got to move because they conserve energy a whole lot better. That's what I think happened on the last day, because I was with you. I thought the last day was going to be awesome, but I think had it stayed 30 or 40 degrees, it would have been a lot better. But since it got up to like 60,
and then that 3.5 inch rain on Thursday night, I thought it's either going to help or it's going to really hurt things. Like, them birds are going to have so much sheet water that nobody's going to kill them last day. But from everybody I talked to, they seemed like they got on them decently. Like, I didn't talk to anybody.
Y'all are the only ones that I've talked to that killed them good the last day.
And I mean, not like killing 8-9 man limits, but scratching out a few limits and like just enjoying the day. Like, it made the day enjoyable, all except for swatting mosquitoes. And I'm like, golly, man, they're already out. Like, it was ice a week ago that you could almost walk on in here, and now then there's mosquitoes. So we did rip two. We didn't. The other guy ripped two blades off the prop on the way in that morning.
What?
Yeah, we're going in, and also the boat is like shivering. I'm like, he either bent the prop shaft, a log. Wasn't running fast either.
Oh boy!
Just pulled it over a log, and when it came back down the other side, it caught, and it was aluminum prop. So I mean, it just sheared them off.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we made it back okay. Which, I mean, we could have walked the boat pretty much all the way back if we had to. But I would say this year compared to last year, you killed your ducks in different times of the year this year versus last year. Last year, like the last 2 weeks of season, it's like we have got to go every day, or else we're going to really fall short on numbers. Like, we'd already killed decent numbers all the way up to that last week. That last week, I could have took it or left it.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't go 2 days that last week because I was like, my back hurts one day. What?
I was trying to get him to look up something while you're talking. Go ahead.
Last week I'd hurt my back doing something, so I was like, back hurts. I'm going to sleep in one morning. Then it rained, and I was like, I really don't want to go today either. So, I almost was like, hey, I'm done for the season. If I hadn't got the phone call like, hey, how many shells you got left, I probably would have. And I don't think that last day, I shot maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well, you're a crack shot anyhow, so it doesn't surprise me that you only shot 4 or 5 times. How many different species of ducks did you kill this year?
I did not log like I should have. I logged species, like total numbers and river levels, but I didn't log species. Mallard, pintail.
I thought you were fixing the flippy.
So did I. I was like, good grief.
Mallard, pintail.
Green-winged teal.
Serious in a hurry.
Gadwall. Speckle belly, snow goose. Canada's, wood duck.
Gadwall.
I think we said gadwall already.
Oh, did you get a widgeon?
Yeah.
Pintail already?
Yeah.
I mean, you killed a bunch of different species.
Or I was a part of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you log them in there, I always log the whole group. So.
Right. Yeah.
9.
I think that's it.
9 different species. That's pretty legit.
It was a great year.
Well, you said it was a great year. 5,000 birds killed over there.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, Canada helps a lot.
Apparently so.
I didn't kill, besides the Canadas, I didn't kill anything up there that I didn't kill in Arkansas, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
species-wise?
How many specks have you killed here in Arkansas this year?
I would have to go back and look. Okay. I don't know. I had a good
decent number of specs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My last day was spent in 2 different places. So the morning hunt was me, Zach Flanagan, and Todd Ezai. We went to some flooded woods with really high hopes, honestly, because the area that we were in, I was around it the weekend before. I was like, okay, there's a lot of ducks in this part of the state. So I'm thinking like, okay, it should be good. We had the rain. So I'm like, okay, it'll be coming up even better. Like, duck hunting 101, I was like, we're set up for it to be a really good day. We got there at 5 o'clock, not a lot of boats there. I'm like, this is perfect. We rolled in, got the exact spot we wanted. There wasn't nobody really around us. I'm like, okay, this is going perfectly according to plan. And Owen needed 8 birds to get to 100 retrieves for this duck season. He got to 100 this year for his career. He needed 8 birds to get to 100 for this season. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can make this happen. There's 3 of us. That's plenty of birds. And shooting time got there, and I was actually pretty impressed with how many mallards were flying low on the trees. We worked 4 ducks, got them down, broke them down through the trees. They came in, and I was like, they came in more on my end, but apparently I need to go to the eye doctor because I was like, I don't think those are close enough, so I didn't shoot. Mm-hmm. When the sun finally got up and I saw how far away they were, I was like, yeah, they were 100% shootable. I'm an idiot for sure. Should have shot. But when they came in and we got them to land and everything, I was like, okay, that's a positive thing. If we got them to do it, we can get more to do it. Took a little bit. We watched some more birds. They wanted to work west of us and they wanted to work south of us. Well, we finally got one. He came in, shot him. Oh, went and picked it up. It's like, thank God. I felt relief come off of me because I was like, okay, we didn't end the season on a skunk. Thank the Lord. Yes, that would have been depressing. And we watched more birds go south and more birds go south of us. Like watching them land. We actually had one hen was talking with us. Like we'd quack, she'd quack. We'd quack, she'd quack. Enough to where I was like, is that a hunter? Like, are they walking up on us? What is going on? Well, finally we scared her and she jumped out. I was like, well, let's just go move south because that's where all the ducks wanted to be. So we pick up some of our stuff. We walk south, scare up a couple ducks where we thought they were at. It's like, okay, well, right here. This is where the ducks are at. We're going to get right here. We sat down there, and within the next 5 minutes, we watched a group of 3 land back where our decoys were. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But the flight path was right. We had some more fly over the top of us. We worked them, couldn't get them to come down. We watched another group land where we were. Felt like idiots for the second time. Like, golly, we can't do anything right. So anyhow, Todd had to leave. Me and Zach moved back over there, and the ducks totally shut off. Like the shooting stopped. Boat started leaving. There was no ducks flying. Like it just quit. So like, well,
even with everybody leaving, there wasn't nothing. Flying.
Nothing was flying. It got hot. Like it got hot, and they didn't have a reason to move.
Yeah.
So we sat there for a little bit. We stayed till what was it, 12:30. And I was really expecting, because at this place, right around 11:30, you usually see ducks start coming back. Like it's like they know when people leave those woods, and I was expecting that to happen. Well, from 11:30 to 12:30, I'm not sure we seen one mallard, if we did see one. So I told Zach, I was like, "Look, I can get back in time now that I can take the kids and Leah, and we can go close to the house and hunt and see if we can get Leah her first duck." Like, are you gonna be pissed off if I leave? He's like, no. Like, what are we doing here? Basically, like we're not killing anything. We can stay and maybe something will happen, or we can just stay and watch the sky do what it's doing right now. So like, okay. So we picked everything up, hustled out. I ran home as quick as I could, loaded everybody up, and we went. And I was expecting the water where we were going to be a little bit higher, like half a foot higher, and it was about 2.5 foot higher than what I expected. And okay, this is not what I planned on. So my original thought was, I'm going to have the kids on the bank. We'll be 20 yards away from them, standing in water, and have the decoy set up for Leah to shoot. Like it shouldn't be an issue. There was no land for the kids to stand on. So I was like, crap, what do I do? So I was like, okay, well, we're all hunting from the boat. So I tucked the boat up under these bushes as best I could. I was like, okay, I mean, we're after divers. They're not going to be flying over our heads. They're going to be coming in low. It shouldn't be an issue. And I get out of the boat, and I'm waist deep in water because I've got to hold the boat there because I don't have an anchor or anything like that. And we get everything set up, and I kid you not, guys, the amount of ducks that I saw in the sky was impressive. I wasn't planning on mallards in any way. Wasn't expecting them. Wasn't planning on it. Was way grossly unprepared with mallard decoys. I had 6 with me. I needed like 16 dozen to get these birds to come down because they were high, but it was wave after wave of mallards flying over. I was shocked at the number that I saw. And we didn't kill a duck. Not a single one. The closest thing that we got was we got a few Canadas to come by, and I was like, if we shoot a goose, I'm going to be thrilled. Didn't even get those to get close enough, but we only had like 45 minutes to hunt because then we had to get back because Reed had a basketball game. So as quick as we hustled in, we had to hustle out. And part of me was a little disappointed because I really wanted to have some sort of action with the ducks.
Yeah.
But looking back, like, the kids had fun. The kids shot BB guns at the decoys, just like when we went. They hit,
like I was doing.
Yeah, like Matt was doing. And they had a good time. And from what I could tell, Leah looked like she had a decent time too.
She shouldn't have got cold this hunt.
She definitely did not get cold.
No.
100% did not get cold. But yeah, it was, I wanted to end on more ducks. I wanted to get Owen his birds. Didn't get that, but looking back on this season, like I said at the beginning, this was one of my favorite seasons in a long dang time. Mm-hmm. And not because of the numbers, but the funny thing was I actually saw more birds die this year than I can't remember how many years in the past, which I didn't think that was going to actually happen, but it did. Wow, we're at 50 minutes already. So we're about to start the next episode. So we're finished this one real quick. How do y'all want to finish this episode? Thanks. Goodbye.
Hood and Merganser.
Hood and Merganser. That's another one.
There
so
you
you're
go.
at 10.
Yeah,
Look
there
at
we-
you. You're at 10. Double digits. Holy cow. Look at him. 10 different species.
You might have counted a couple twice in the break. I'll go back and recount.
Okay, well, in the break. So we'll catch y'all in the next one. The next episode, we're going to recap our favorite hunts, why they were our favorite hunts, and we really haven't talked about that 9-man limit of mallard hunts yet.
Not yet.
So
Not yet.
that's coming on the next episode with a bourbon review of, what's that one called?
The Henry McKenna 10-year bottle and bond.
Y'all be ready for the next one because that's going to be on the next one, along with the duck call review. We'll catch y'all on the next one.